All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League. We just had ourselves an absolute thriller in that last matchup, going to Game 5. Mafiosos pulling a little bit of the upset as they're trying to keep their playoff and postseason hopes alive. That was a huge one. I'm excited to see if we can see another one here. I'm Rockerman, joined by the one and only Ventus. Ventus, how are you doing tonight?
Doing fantastic, Rocker Man. I just watched a little bit of the Mafiosos game. Super intense matchup between the two. Game four going to overtime. Game five being won by the Mafiosos was absolutely insane. Definitely maybe a new hype team coming up in the Mafiosos, especially trading Landon, which I thought was going to be a kind of like a blunder, but it turned out to work really well for them picking up Swift, and so Mafiosos looked pretty dominant and a very, surprising upset on the number one seed arrival.
Yeah, it was definitely a surprising upset, but they played well, made some great saves, leading to their win. So congratulations to them. And one quick shout out before we really dive into this matchup. Big shout out to JP coming back for 27 months. Appreciate the support as always from our former GM and lovely Challenger League player, Mr. JP. And yeah, Ventus, let's get talking about this one because this one is an absolute banger. We got two teams at the top of their game right now. Blackhawks 8-4, Vipers 9-3. Getting ready to join this matchup as we get them on the pitch here. Ventus, what are you looking forward to most in this one?
It's definitely going to have to be Juice. We got to see him step up. We saw him have a great debut match earlier with the Blackhawks. He's going to have to continue to step it up, especially against a dominant opponent like the Vipers. I know that the Blackhawks kind of fallen off recently. They only going 4-4 after a great 4-0 start, and so maybe a little bit of a jump start to the lineup is Juice is what he's going to be, and so hopefully that he'll be that standout player for the Blackhawks. But on the Vipers, I mean, unfortunate miss there is it looks like Kosh is gonna get a little bit of an open net. It seems like Brindy might have been caught out a little bit of rotation, but I mean, I'm looking at Brindy and BradMcSnackWrap, kind of like a dynamic duo. Those two just so dominant on and off the ball, able to create so many opportunities for each other. I mean, should be a really good series, but definitely those two on the Vipers to stand out.
Yeah, it's definitely been a crazy series here. We got a lot of great players on the pitch, like you mentioned, a lot of roster moves that were happening and have happened. Obviously, Juice Lo-Fi, definitely a big pickup here, kind of replacing Izachet. Izachet's still in the roster, we're filling into that sub role, and we scrimmed a little bit against Juice Lo-Fi, and he's a pretty solid player, so we'll give him his props here. Obviously, Viper's pretty solid as well. Unfortunate miss to start things off there, but the roster moves went this they were crazy. There was almost I don't want to say too much, but there was almost some moves made by both these teams here. The Prospect had some crazy deadline action here. The Vipers team almost changed up. I don't think the Blackhawks team almost changed, but here we are after the trade deadline. The teams are pretty much set. The trade drop deadline is just passing this Sunday, so things are pretty much set despite a crazy week. And both these teams are ready to get into this one, get a big win here. And right now, the Blackhawks found that opening goal there on a little bit of an overcommit, and right now, still holding on to that 1-goal lead here as both these teams trying to feel each other out here. When you got a battle of two of the top teams, the big demo comes out, but this one might be cleared all the way back. Juice Lo-Fi is gonna make a nice touch, and the Blackhawks are gonna retain their lead for a moment as Kosh is gonna make another great save. The ball is still there. Hypnotiiic gonna come through, and he will tie it up.
There's just so much pressure coming out from the Vipers, continuously just pummeling shots at the net. Eventually, Hypnotiiic gonna put it just a shot right around Perky, who had zero boost, having to make that dive across net and just kind of hope that he is able to get the read on the shot. But a great shot there by Hypnotiiic, and I mean a good equalizer as well for the Vipers, following up that slight misplay to go down 1-0.
Yeah, that's a great answer there. Getting a shot on target here, a second shot of the game, but finding the back of the net, able to tie things up here as we're nearing the halfway point in game number one. As Brindy is up on this one, might have a flip to work with, gonna throw it off the backboard. This one, follow-up attempt, gonna go just underneath Perky, but Kosh is gonna send that one off to the side for a moment. Kosh, again, flicking it up. Brad, gonna find a connection there. Brindy, gonna pop it up high. Perky trying to get up to this one, but just not quite on target. As Hypnotiiic is gonna find the clear out. Brad taking control. Juice waiting back here. Brad trying to take it under, gonna get in the midfield, but Brindy's gonna be bumped off of that one. A good follow-up on the backside there by the Blackhawks to get that shooter out of the way here. As Brindy now Looking to take control, trying to find something here. Popping this one up. It's over the top. No one quite ready to follow with Brindy. He's going to follow it himself. He's going to throw it off the post. This one just there. Hypnotiiic trying to send it back in, but it's not going to go there. And Ventus, that one was a huge opportunity for the Vipers, but they could not put it in.
Yeah, and that's so tough. Brindy absolutely making phenomenal plays early in this series. Another great play there, but unfortunately, it didn't hit that inside post and bounce back into the midfield that Hypnotiiic was looking for. And, you know, he's not going to be able to put that one on net as it's going to roll past the goal line. And so, very tough for the side of Vipers, but promising as they have now start to, as I start to give them props, they Blackhawks just come out with an absolutely firing, a great shot by Juice Lo-Fi, gonna find the back of the net around two defenders. The third defender looking like he might have gotten bumped there. And I was just about to talk about the Vipers and how dominant they looked and how much aggression they had, after letting up the first goal to the Blackhawks. But Blackhawks responding early enough to regain the lead with a minute 30 left.
Yeah, these guys can definitely be very aggressive here. I've noticed that between them, and we've got a lot of great players. We talked about it just a little bit, but the Vipers with two All-Stars in Brad and Hypnotiiic, and then there's a lot of talk that Brindy should have been an All-Star as well. And Brad, speak of All-Star right there, he's gonna put it in a little bit of an open net-ish, but he comes through and slots it home.
It's like Perky just not able to get that read on the back wall, electing to grab that boost first and then try to get the touch, and kind of spelled his downfall as he wasn't able to reach the ball on time. And that one's going to be a free and easy goal for BradMcSnackWrap. and man, that's a fun word to say. But yeah, no, definitely thought of Brindy being that third All-Star player. A lot of talk about him and kind of the feeling that he might have gotten snubbed. So might be looking to make a statement here as he already has a playmaking badge, 3 assists on the game.
Yeah, and BradMcSnackWrap is going to be the one to put it in. And yeah, Ventus, I also agree. I love that name. One of my favorite names in all of Nemesis. Been around here 12 seasons, and he's definitely up there. Easily top 5. Might even be top 1, really. I love the name, and he's gonna put another goal in the back of the net. But now they're gonna be forced to be on the defense here. Is this ball in the midfield? But Kosh, he can't quite put it on target. Instead, throw it off to the side, and here is Brad gonna have to make that touch over to the corner here as the Vipers, they do find that lead here with 30 seconds remaining. Can they hold on in game number 1? Ball in the corner, but this one just gonna be shot at net. No one quite ready, and Perky is just gonna get it around the defense.
Looks like there's a very bad defensive mistake. Brindy and Hypnotiiic both rotating into that corner. Neither of them elect to go for it. Maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there. It's just going to leave the net wide open for the Blackhawks to score and tie up the game 3-3. And this series is super important for both these teams. Blackhawks currently one behind the Origin, who is sitting at 9-3 in the division. And Vipers obviously wanting to maintain their lead with the Warhawks close on their tracks at 8-4. So both these teams desperately need the win to try to gain control of their division. And so giving up easy goals like this is not going to be a recipe for success.
Yeah, definitely not. The stakes are most certainly high, and so we're down to 0 seconds now. Will we see overtime here in game number 1? Brindy is going to send it down. Juice out to Perky in the midfield. Can they find something? No, not quite. We are going to reach overtime here in game number 1. And yeah, you mentioned it's a battle out here. The Blackhawks trying to get back for that division, because right now, with how the division's set here with the division winners and all the solid teams in that Central Division, the Blackhawks are the 7 seed right now, despite their great record. But they're trying to change that, and Perky is going to put in the overtime winner to take game 1.
Yeah, and that's a good pass from Juice Lo-Fi out to the midfield. Looks like BradMcSnackWrap not really able to get that read. Is a little bit too much power than he expected. And Perky going to be first to that ball and pick it up in the midfield for another pretty easy net and pretty much open net there. And yeah, Blackhawks going to take the win. And you were talking about them currently being the 7th seed, even though they're currently sitting at 8-4. And that just seems like a crime to me with such great teams. I mean, Blackhawks really standing out as well. But I mean, they're still having to deal with Hypernova and Origin. And I mean, Hypernova struggling a little bit. They did trade away Gallium. And so that's a very big question mark with how Hypernova is going to be able to, bounce back, or if they're going to continue to, um, claim hold of the Central Division, or if Blackhawks are going to have more of an opportunity to kind of steal that spot from them and rise in the rankings and the seeding.
Yeah, no, it's an important opportunity, a surprise trade like you mentioned. Gallium going to the Melons here, so some big switches in that Central Division here, and Blackhawks taking that game one, trying to take advantage of it, trying to move up there into that top 6 position there, and with a game one win, where they played pretty solid, they're gonna look to do that, but a couple of big mistakes there allow Brad to get just a goal.
The feels backflip moment right there is Juice Lo-Fi trying to get the pre-jump block on BradMcSnackWrap, and then Kosh kind of just feels backflip. You just backflip on accident, controller misinput, and unfortunately for the Blackhawks, it's going to be very punishing as Viper's going to go up 1-0, and luckily they do have that game 1 win under their belt, but no lead is safe with the Vipers here with how dominant they can be on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, as that one is going to be put away. And yeah, these Vipers definitely do have some offense, but I will say the Blackhawks, they have some really good offense of their own. It just seems like for both teams thus far, it seems like it's been a lot of defensive mistakes that have kind of spelled their demise. So if we can see a little bit more lockdown on the defensive end, we could see a lot cleaner of a series. Here comes Kosh. He's going to put it in, dropping that one down and tying things up.
Yeah, and Hypnotiiic just missing that corner boost there. Not going to be able to get the touch he wants with that lacking of boost, and he's going to pass it right to Kosh. Kosh going to be there waiting in the midfield, just right for the taking, and he's going to equalize the score in a defensive mishap on the side of Vipers just to even up the scoring.
Yeah, and Blackhawks again going to capitalize on that one. Able to tie things up at 1 here in game number 2. Looking to take a 2-0 series lead. This one dropping down in midfield. Perky is going to make a touch. Juice going to look to take it, but can't quite find the follow as this one's off to the side. Brindy looking to take control, trying to pop it in, looking to find Hypnotiiic. They both double commit, trying to send that one in. Here comes Brad trying to find the follow, but not quite on target. He is going to find a touch though, as Perky trying to flick it up. Juice going to get up to that one, able to clear it out. Quite gonna find the follow he's looking for as he bumps Hypnotiiic off that one, but Hypnotiiic still able to find that 50, able to get that one through. Perky taking this one up. Brindy gonna be blocked out in the midfield. Brad sending this one up high, but Juice is gonna cut it off here as they're trying to send it in. A big demo could open up some space. An even bigger miss right there. Another miss. That one off the post. Oh, no way, it's not gonna go in. Kosh is gonna send it out, and as Perky, wait a minute, are they going to find the counter? No, it's going to be saved away. But my goodness, Ventus, that one was a little bit of calamity.
Yeah, some heart-wrenching moments, some very stressful moments for both teams. Is a little bit of an open net miss from the Vipers and a couple of defensive mistakes from the Blackhawks. Luckily, not going to be punished as Vipers not really able to find the open net, but Juice Lo-Fi is going to find that net as it looks like it was kind of a mistouch from Hypnotiiic into the corner. Tried to get it a little bit farther away from Juice, but unfortunately Juice going to find the back of the net there and give the Blackhawks another lead. And it seems like the Vipers haven't really been able to capitalize on the Blackhawks mistakes, but the Blackhawks have no trouble catching the Vipers out on their mistakes and really punishing them for it.
Oh, as here we go again. Juice Lo-Fi off the backboard here. He's going to put it in, and yeah, no one quite up for that one. Hypnotiiic, he's trying to get to the backboard, but drop it down, drop it underneath, catch him off guard. And yeah, he is really showing up right here. And kind of like I mentioned earlier in our scrims, he was definitely the player to watch out for on that team. And for Blackhawks, like you mentioned, Ventus had a great start to the season with Izachad, but they didn't really have any, really insane competition with how the Prospect League turned out. And then once they got in their division matches, couldn't quite hang as much as they would like to. And this roster move, getting Juice Lo-Fi here onto their team, is looking like a great decision thus far.
Definitely already accumulating 430 points this game with 2 minutes left. I mean, I talked about him having I believe he averaged 500 points at least in his first series. I mean, big standout plays so far from him, and he's definitely shown why he's the player to watch. Or my pick of who I think the player to watch is on the Blackhawks, just because of his impact on the pitch so far. And he's really kind of solidified the Blackhawks and made their attacks much more threatening. Whereas some of the times, a lot of the times people will just pepper shots at net and kind of just hope for it to eventually find the back of the net and kind of break up down the defense. But with Juice Lo-Fi, he's been able to create a lot more threatening plays and really complete this offense as a whole, versus where it seemed like Isaac just maybe not up to the caliber of the player that they needed Juice Lo-Fi to be, and it seemed like they just weren't, up to par with the top teams in the prospect league.
Yeah, and that seems to be why they made the change. And right now, they're looking on the brink of a 2-0 series lead. As this one is dropping towards the net, it's just open because the demo, and Kosh is just gonna take a little freebie, put it home, and the Blackhawks are running away here with game number 2.
Yeah, that's a great demo by Perky on that last man back. I mean, the Vipers really overcommitting, expecting their third man to get a touch on that ball, and when you eliminate him like that, take him completely off the pitch, it's just gonna leave the net wide open. And Kosh, luckily, gonna get another freebie. And a lot of these Blackhawks goals have really come from defensive mistakes, but this was one of the times where I was very satisfied with their offensive play, the pressure they were able to create, and the commotion and pandemonium that the bumps and demos were able to help the Blackhawks achieve their scoring goals. And so good sign for the Blackhawks, but not so much if you're a Vipers fan.
Yeah, it's not looking too great here for the Vipers, but they are going to find one back here. It's Mr. Brindy going to send that one in, trying to find a little bit of life here with 27 seconds left.
Yeah, it's just a great leave by Hypnotiiic mostly. He expected there to be a follow-up touch, the last defender, Perky, I believe. Was expecting Hypnotiiic to get a second double touch into the midfield, and he just left it for his teammate, and it's going to be very difficult to cover that kind of touch. And obviously, Viper's going to score that one, but with 20 seconds remaining, it seems like too little too late, as they might be going down 2-0 in the series, and that's going to be a monumental task for a comeback.
Yeah, especially against one of the other top teams here who are definitely showing up here in this series. As Vipers clock not to their advantage here, as this one is going to be sent down, trying to find one more for the road, but it will not change the results of the current series score, as it will be 2-0 in favor of the Blackhawks here, who have had a great start to this one. Maybe surprising some. I know a lot of people were really hyping the Vipers up, but this Blackhawks team kind of throwing a really big punch here. Ventus one win away from taking this home in a sweep.
Yeah, I definitely would not have expected going into this that the Blackhawks would sweep. I expected the Vipers to be a little bit more threatening on their offense. They only mustered I believe 2 goals each game, and it hasn't really seemed that the Vipers have played up to their potential that we've seen. The potential that made them in contention for those All-Star appearances. And they've just seemed a little lackluster to me overall. And I mean, maybe that's just because Blackhawks are playing very good, but I would hope that Vipers are able to step it up come game 3, 4, and 5, and are able to make it a little bit of a closer series.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see here heading into game number 3. The Vipers, they've got to find something. They got to find some way for their offense to go through here. They've been on a bit of a hot streak recently, winning a lot of their recent games, but now heading into this game number 3, looking possibly drop one here to another top contender, but they're trying to find it back. Brindy putting that one on target, but Kosh able to get it away here. And Ventus, as we get into this game number 3, what do you want to see from the Vipers to get something through here, as they're trying to find one in the back of the net here?
Well, first I'd look for BradMcSnackWrap to disconnect from the match and potentially reset the lobby. So hopefully he'll come back. But in the meantime, it seems like they're just going to play on. I'm not sure if it was a connection issue or what. But currently, Vipers having to 2v3. It looks like BradMcSnackWrap is back, thankfully. And they were not punished too hard, as they haven't been able to score yet. Kosh going to 50 his own teammate. But definitely looking forward to kind of Brindy to stand out. I know in game number 1, he had a lot of solo plays where he was able to break down the defense of Blackhawks and open up a lot of the scoring potential. And Hypnotiiic, all he had to do was just kind of finish and score the goals. But it hasn't seemed like he's really been able to just clean beat all of these players like he did in game number 1. So hopefully he'll pick up the speed of play, and it's going to be very needed if they're going to have to 2v3.
Yeah, this is a little bit odd here, because Brad is in the lobby, but he is not joined on the team, and the Vipers have the ability to call for that reset but they have not decided to do so yet. So very, very surprising here from them. Just going to allow the Blackhawks to keep the pressure up. Hypnotiiic trying to block that one away, as Hypnotiiic and Brindy are looking to try to 2v2. And you know, Ventus, it may seem like a big detriment sometimes to try to 2v3, and well, I guess it is going to be, as Perky's going to put that one in. I was going to say sometimes it can throw your opponent off here, but the Blackhawks, they are going to find their way into the back of the net.
It's a good pass from Juice Lo-Fi there, as he was able to just find the correct bounce off the corner and put it in the midfield without allowing Hypnotiiic to get the boost and rotate back in the net, kind of forcing him to choose one or the other. And obviously, when you're being boost starved in a 2v3, you're gonna try to get as much boost as possible, and Hypnotiiic opting to grab that corner boost and leave the net open to a potential shot, accepting that risk of the possibility that the Blackhawks might be able to turn this into a goal scoring opportunity. And obviously, Blackhawks gonna capitalize on that one. And unfortunately, BradMcSnackWrap did lose connection again. Vipers not using their reset, which is very surprising. I would have expected them to have used it, but now I believe it's too late, as there is a goal scored on the side of Blackhawks, and it seems like with a 2v3, it's not looking good for the Vipers.
Yeah, it's not looking as good as they they still could call for it, or well, they could have when he disconnected the second time, even as long as it's made within one goal and not within not under a minute remaining here, or well, it could be under a minute remaining as long as it's within one. But they still could have called for the reset right away there on the disconnect. Unfortunately, it did not here, as just kind of waiting for this one to go on. As looks like he has completely lost internet here, so. Looks like they're just going to try to play on the best they can here, see if they can somehow survive. This one almost is going to find the way in the back of the net. Kosh is going to make a big save. Brindy, can he find one here? He's going to put it in. They're going to score 2v3, keeping their hopes alive in this series.
You know what's more demoralizing than a 3v3 is a 2v3 comeback where they win game number 3 in a 2v3 fashion, and then BradMcSnackWrap comes back in game number 4 somehow, and they snowballed the momentum of this win into a reverse sweep. That would be absolutely insane. I mean, that's what I'm reading on the script right here, Rockerman, so I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen, but that would be a great content.
Yeah, that would be some great content, as the Vipers trying to look for one. And the longer this game stays close like this, you know, the closer the Vipers can get to just putting one in. One mistake from the Blackhawks here, despite having this 3v2 here. This one's going to ring off the backboard. Hypnotiiic going to make the touch. One mistake, and all of a sudden you could be looking at yourselves in a bad spot. It's trying to be Brad. This one off the backboard. Juice Lo-Fi going to have to make the touch, able to put it away. But a minute remaining here, and the Vipers still holding on, keeping this one in a tied ball game, as Juice is trying to get that one. But Brindy, he's on top of it. A big demo is going to come through, trying to open up some space. As now Kosh looking to try to get it over. He's going to get it by one. This one shot towards net. Brindy, can he get to it? It's just off. Going to find the 50. Able to push that one away. He's Perky dropping it down. Hypnotiiic, he's sending it back. Juice has to get up to this one. He's going to make the touch. But Ventus, this game stays close here, and all it might take here is one Vipers goal to put this one away, as it's going to be denied. The counterattack could be coming here. Perky trying to get back to it, but he can't find the touch there. He's going to pop it over, trying to send it in. It's off the side. Hypnotiiic is going to make the save, and still it remains 1-1.
Yeah, and I would have expected the Vipers to concede there, as they overcommitted a lot, but Perky unable to kind of capitalize on that mistake. And with the Vipers, they're actually playing very well in this 2v3. They're kind of playing one player very reserved until they absolutely need to try to make a goal scoring opportunity. And they're kind of letting each player 1v3 and having one player back, and kind of just playing that natural twos rotation, even though it is a 3v3. And we're actually going to go to overtime here in a 2v3 matchup.
This is just crazy. Ventus 2v3. The Vipers trying to pull back the reverse sweep. BradMcSnackWrap lost connection. No reset called for, but the Vipers are holding on, trying to send us to game 4 to get to Forbidden Temple. Here comes Brindy. He's going to pop it up high, but he's going to be bumped. Kosh is up there for it, trying to find that flip reset. I don't think he got it though. Is this one 50 up high? Brindy sends this one back. Perky, that touch can't be found. Juice has to send it off to the side here. and it's going to be collected by Kosh, who tries to drop it down the midfield. Hypnotiiic looking to get to it. A double commit comes through, and that can prove deadly if this ball can get around. This one dropping down. Juice can't touch it. Here comes Brindy. It's going to be blocked away. Kosh, he denies it. That one was almost disaster there for the Blackhawks, but instead the Vipers are gonna hold on, keep the pressure going here. So they're trying to get it down. This one gonna get it by one. Brindy gonna get it by two. He might have an opportunity, but that one denied away. It's Hypnotiiic. Send this one back on midfield. Now it's Brindy. One-on-one here. It's going to go over the top. This one, a big opportunity. The demo comes through. They can't put it on target, though. Gosh, you can't get it through. As this one dropped out of the midfield, trying to get up to it. It's denied away again. The Vipers keep denying it. And the Blackhawks here right now, Ventus, it seems like they're just terrified.
Yeah, they are not willing to commit anybody upfield to pressure this Vipers defense, which is very surprising. We see a good demo coming out from Juice. This might be the opportunity that they need. Is Perky gonna try to just dribble it in? Unfortunately, not gonna get the 50 that he wants. Gonna go right to Kosh. Kosh not gonna find the shot either, and somehow the Vipers are staying alive.
Kosh, it looked like he had the shot to put it away, and he just doesn't put it in. And now the Vipers, they somehow survive. Brindy, not a lot of boost, gonna deny it. Gonna deny the demo right there, but they still are holding on here. A minute 50 remaining here, or a minute 50 gone by in overtime. This one, a banging shot. Brindy, can he get up? Yes, he can. Great denial. Hypnotiiic has to jump, trying to get that one away. And still the Vipers defense, somehow in this 2v3, they have held on. 2 minutes in overtime. The Blackhawks have yet to score here. Juice gonna pop it over one. Brindy is harassing. Hypnotiiic is demoed. Brindy, gotta be careful here, as this one is popped up. He's gonna be bumped, and it looks like the Blackhawks trying to find those bumps, trying to use that player advantage here, as this one popped up. Gonna be dropped down, but it's Brindy that got the demo that time. Brindy gonna jump up forward, gonna get it past Juice, as they can't find the touch. This could be an opportunity. Brindy trying to make a solo play, but Perky, he's gonna be up quick. This one is Kosh. He's jumping, trying to find that one down. Hypnotiiic, gotta make that touch, able to pop it up. And every touch by the Vipers has to be perfect here, as this one is popped out in the midfield. Hypnotiiic gonna get a touch, gonna get it down to Brindy. They might have an opportunity right here. It's just Kosh in front of him. This one denied up. It's popping. Hypnotiiic's diving. Perky sends that one away. Kosh can't find that touch again. Another big miss from Kosh, who's had some opportunities here, but can't put it in. And Ventus, 3 minutes gone by in overtime in a 2v3, and the Vipers somehow, someway are holding on strong, as this one, oh my goodness, it's sent back towards the net there. It's not quite gonna go, but that one, a big opportunity. Hypnotiiic is dropping this one down. Brindy diving, and still Ventus, we're tied.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely crazy how well the Vipers are playing right now, and just the two of them are able to hold off the Blackhawks. We even saw Juice Lo-Fi start to go for a bunch of these demo and bump plays to disrupt the Vipers defense, and they still held strong no matter what. They've seemingly been able to play better twos than they have in threes, but this one is going to find the back of the net. Juice Lo-Fi gonna catch that one off of a pass from Perky, a good flick off the backboard. It's gonna do it, as Kosh also kind of pre-jumping, maybe looking for a bump. And unfortunately, Vipers, even though they held out for almost 4 minutes of overtime, not gonna be enough to stop the Blackhawks' sweep and unfortunate victory.
Yeah, I mean that was crazy, Ventus. There were a couple opportunities where I thought for sure that the Blackhawks were going to concede a goal and we were going to somehow get to a game four. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, and unfortunately, the Vipers decided not to opt for that reset, which very odd there. You gotta utilize your reset when you have it there for sure, but. They did not in that one, and the Blackhawks gonna take home the sweep. And Ventus, throwing game three aside there, we'll just look at the first two games. I mean, the Blackhawks, they did look very solid, and look like they had the series in the bag, despite what may have happened in that third and final game.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely looked very solid as a conglomerate unit, but I really think that the Vipers weren't playing up to their stuff that I've seen them on stream previously. I feel like I noticed a lack of aggression on offense. They weren't connecting as much. Brindy, I mean, besides game number 3, wasn't as much of that solo play threat that I've seen him in the past. And I think overall the Vipers just didn't look like themselves that much this series. And I think that was a big decider in the victory, because even though the games were close, the Blackhawks still took the sweep. But I still think that with how I know the Vipers can play, it could have been a much different series than what we saw.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think the Vipers definitely missing out a little bit on their potential there. Obviously, didn't get that third game to really figure it out. But still, you got to give credit to the Blackhawks. They looked like a really solid team, despite maybe a little bit too stressful in that third and final game, the 3v2 there. I was gonna say Ventus. I kind of brought it up a little bit, but sometimes being that three-man team in a 2v3 can be really tough because of how different it is from the normal 3v3, and some games are like that. I've seen many 3v2s like that where it's very tough to score, able to not able to hold out and somehow get the win there. But this time the Blackhawks do. They get the win, they get the sweep. The Brooms come out and they're going to be happy to take that win and move a little closer as they try to push into that playoff position there. And we'll have to see if they'll be able to do that as they continue on with the rest of the week. But with that being said, we are going to have to take a short break. But when we come back, we're heading to our final matchup of the night. We're moving over to the Challenger League for another good one here, as we have Dissolved taking on Griffins, two teams that are fighting around that play-in, bottom of playoffs kind of territory there, trying to make their way in. So it's going to be another crucial matchup here to see who can get in that position, as we've only got 5 more matches left after today. So if you guys don't want to miss it, make sure you guys stick around, and we'll see you guys in a few.